Welcome back. We are so excited to be here and get to hang out with you guys. It's been a year.
It's been a minute.
Can you believe it's been a year?
It's been a little too long.
Just about a year. If you go back and see when we last uploaded, it's been just about a year over on this particular channel, and we've missed it, and we're back.
But
we're
there's
excited
things,
to be
though,
back.
that like are necessary in order for life to progress. It reminds me of the circle of life. Like in the Africas, there's a circle of life. The Lion King, right?
Uh-huh.
We've been on the circle of life.
Yeah.
And, you
It
know,
just did not fit into our life over the last year. We do have 2 other YouTube channels, which are ways that we get, both of them are ways that we get business in different ways, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so those have been still, running consistently because those can't stop, or a big chunk of our business will stop. However, this particular podcast, we have taken a pause from. So we're excited. We're excited to be back. And I guess today's episode is really just, it's always like a laid back conversation. We don't really like having a script or anything like that. We like to keep it fresh, keep it real.
It's important to like, not to cut you off, but
No,
to re-engage with you guys. And obviously give you an update what we've been doing, give a little life update, because this is a family channel, and we share our real estate lives, we share ideas, we share kind of how we do things as a family in real estate. Mariah and Spenc, it's one of those things where we want to be open and let you guys kind of understand our lifestyle, and this could be a lifestyle channel. And that's something that I look forward to when I'm in the car going on appointments. I'm always looking up some YouTube videos. Maybe you came across this video because of that manner. I mean, you're like, oh my gosh, there's people that are doing things that I want to do. Let me take the first step and get there. And I think that's maybe where we should start, Mariah, is like give this overview of like our lives, our style, and just kind of like how our family dynamics work. Because, I mean, let's get real. We have been gone. We've been gone, and a lot's changed.
And we'll share why and why we stopped, all of those things as well. But I guess to answer that question of, because I think this is important to know if you are new here, we are a husband and wife real estate team. We have been a husband and wife real estate team almost our whole adult life. I've been in real estate my whole adult life.
Which is so rare.
And then a couple years after I got licensed, he jumped in and joined me.
Like, what the heck? How
he was able to quit his job.
How did we get there? Like, it's rare. I get these thoughts of when we first started, and it's so weird how, looking back, you were an 18-year-old girl, 17-year-old going to real estate school while in high school during the nights, one day a week on a Wednesday. Nobody knew about this but me, probably. I don't even know if I was fully aware
you probably
of
didn't
the
really know what I was
concept
doing.
because, like, if you're a kid, you're like, you have no idea I was involved in sports.
Life
and
is
Mariah,
different.
Mariah has this mind that just operates differently. I mean, this whole real estate journey thing alone is priceless because it comes along with the personality trait that, I've kind of grow to fall in love with as this love story. And I think that's why, I mean, ultimately 8 years later, our 8-year anniversary is a month from now.
8 years of being married.
We're getting there.
Yes. Okay. Yes, that's true.
We're getting there.
Where were we? Okay. So I got my license. He joined me a couple years after. We got married young as well. And we've just always, I guess it's all we know. This has always been our life, running our business, and now we really run it from home. We don't have it. I mean, this is our office right here. We're in our office right now, so we do not leave and go into an office. And honestly, 4 years later, we love it.
We finally made our office at home.
Yes,
like the official office.
4 years after leaving our brick and mortar. No, not 4 years. It's been 2 years since we left our brick and mortar brokerage.
Our home.
But we've been really working. 4 years since after we moved into this home. Yeah, so we've always just, I don't know, we've just loved running our life in that way to where we're running a business together and it's so much fun. And I truly could not imagine life any other way.
And like on the real estate aside, I mean, the way life progresses and the way you live your life is something unconventional, only known to you. What I mean by that is you really, truly have to love what you do. Like you have to breathe it and live it and say it and be as crazy as not enough is to do it like us. I mean, we're recording these and just having our phones in our hands and creating these videos on showings and in the car, just, you have to love what you do so much with a passion that there's no other way to not be successful. Yeah. I think that's kind of like what's grown us in incremental orders. So like when we were 20, we had this passion. When we were 25, we had different passions. And that's why over this last year, when you look at it in perspective and put it in an overview way, I mean, we truly do still love real estate.
Yeah.
And there's always this common law of attraction, whether it's you and I's relationship and marriage, friendship, or business. I think we're always going to have this like correlation, this known thing that we have common ground on. And that's why, like, when I talk to some people, maybe you've been in these situations, is man, never work with your wife.
I know, it always confuses me.
Never
Say
get
that.
your spouse involved.
People tell me that a lot, where they're like, "Oh,
don't work with family."
When they find out that we work together as a team, they're like, "Oh, I could never work with my spouse," but like that's a whole other rabbit hole I feel like you could go down.
Oh no, yeah.
Because
I can open up so many cans of worms. I could sit in this chair. That's the weird thing about doing these.
Yeah.
Because I can seriously sit down and like just talk forever because that's so natural to us. It's conversation.
And before I move on to what I was gonna say, I feel like I need to add, because we've had on our, like I mentioned, we have other YouTube channels, which is where almost all of our business comes from. It's helped us scale our business, and YouTube in general, just not this channel, but our other channels have been such big blessings in our business and life. And a comment though, when we do videos together, that we get over and over is, Mariah, stop interrupting Spencer, and Spencer, stop interrupting Mariah, or people tell us both to stop talking over each other. We are not offended at each other. So if that bothers you, then maybe you're watching the wrong video, because you know what? We don't care. We're okay. But anyway, so what we were saying though about the leaving, like this is how we've always run things. I was just listening to this podcast. It was really interesting. It was talking about the nuclear family and how that's actually not traditional.
Like nuclear is in the bomb.
Nuclear is in where the husband leaves and goes to work all day, and then the wife stays at home all day, and the husband's out of the house all day. The wife's only at home all day, but she's not contributing at all or making not contributing. That's wrong. Not making any money is what I mean. She's absolutely contributing. She's not making money. 100%
all you home wives out there contributing 100%.
But it was talking about how that's actually not this ideal dream, but it's also not where they both leave for like most of the time of history up until like the 1950s. Everyone worked in the home. The kids were even home. They were homeschooled. The parents were working together, or the dad was like in the shop working and the wife was, I don't know, maybe making some goods. And so I don't know. But like this whole idea of us all separating is actually a newer idea than we really think.
I think about that often.
And that's really, I only bring that up because it's truly how we live our life, is we're all at home a lot. We have, thankfully, you know, different rooms in our house that make it conducive to do that. And we're really, really grateful to be able to run our business and our life that way. But that definitely is a much more accurate picture of how we run our business and our life, and we really love it.
The weird thing is, without like just throwing out theories, can that really work for everybody?
No,
is that the way?
It can't work for everybody.
I don't know if that particular lifestyle can, because there's all different types of personality traits, CEO, corporate, law firms. I mean, your job's title, status, doctors, it doesn't technically allow you to have lifestyles as similar to ours.
Right.
And that's what does make, I would say, our business, our relationship, and our family unique. Because the way I grew up, it was like different. It was, I don't like the term nuclear, by the way.
Yeah, nuclear.
Because to me, it's like an atomic bomb, and that's bad, right? Just because you have that particular lifestyle, I do want to clarify that. Yeah. Just because you have that particular lifestyle, you are okay.
Of course.
You're doing fine. You're doing well. That fits you. That fits your bill. That's how you're paying your bills. That's your passions. And I'm all about chasing your passions, by the way. So that is very, very important for you to understand. Just because you might not be living the lifestyle we have, that does not mean that you're successful, unsuccessful, all the above.
We are just very excited about and passionate about, and we really, really love our lifestyle. And so that's maybe why we're a little bit like, I don't know what the right word is. We're not like pushy about it, but we know obviously it's not for everyone, but we love it for us so much. So when we make these maybe like really biased comments, it doesn't mean that we're saying everyone else is wrong.
And usually
we
it's
just
in
love
context.
what we're doing. We just love what we're doing. Okay,
usually it's in context.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so my point is though to even tell you guys, like, hey, you're doing okay. Is the way I grew up is I would suggest a 180. It's a 180 difference as to how I live my adult life, because and this is a great thing because I have like different perspectives and personas of what is success, what a good job is, what a good schedule is, because I've lived through it. My parents, they work 9-to-5 jobs. I mean, for God's sakes, my mom is a school bus driver. She worked nights growing up until I was, in the later, I don't even know, kids' age. So I moved 8 years old. She was a night waitress, basically, managed a pizza joint till 11:30 at night while working the daytime job. My dad, city employee. So they always had the consistencies. They always had, hey, I'm here at this time. This is when dinner is. Yeah. My weekends are my weekends.
Right.
And I 100% understood that lifestyle. And I still do understand that lifestyle. Right. The hard thing is people that don't ever have a different perspective, like the way we live in real estate, they almost look at it as if we're floaters or drifters.
We're unemployed.
We're unemployed, which technically I am. I mean, I'm a 1099.
Self-employed. It's not unemployed. It's self-employed.
And so entrepreneurs know. And that's the fun thing is when I'm making all these cold calls and talking to clients, I mean, they know. And if you've lived it, you get it. But until you get it, you just are always like, it's the same question of, well, how do I sell real estate or how do I buy real estate? You never know until you get in the transaction and become educated and actually have ears to hear.
So let's backtrack because we never really talked about this. We stopped.
I have a feeling this is going to be a long episode, by the way.
This podcast, yes. We stopped doing this podcast. Also, this has been a YouTube podcast, so it's been on YouTube. But
where else can you find us?
We're going to put it on Spotify as well, so you can subscribe over there with the link I'll put in the description.
We are consistent with that.
We are very consistent, and when we are doing it, we're doing it. Like, we don't miss a week, and we really want this particular show because I did mention, sorry guys, we are all over the place. I just went from saying we're going to talk about what we were doing. Good. But like I said, none of this is planned. We like to just wing it here. Fine. But as I was saying, so we really want this particular show to be geared toward real estate agents, but also just anyone who's interested in real estate or maybe more of this like way of living life, anything that like that. So it's a lot more broad because we do have, like I mentioned, 2 other YouTube channels that bring us business. One of them is about relocating to and moving to and buying real estate in our state, specifically that we live in, Oregon. And then another is for real estate, more real estate, I guess, focus for real estate agents. And we get agent to agent referrals from that. So those are 2 different audiences, I guess, that we've had in the past. And we kind of want this to just be like a giant Mod Podge combination where if we want to do an episode one week about like what's working for us in our real estate business that's more agent facing, we can. But if we want to talk about something that's more buyer focused or just our life or whatever, we can as well.
Yeah, which is why, I mean, I would use it more as an educational tool in lifestyle show.
Okay, so 1 year ago, about at this time, we stopped doing this podcast because we really woke up one day and it was a Friday. We woke up that Friday and you said we are going to have a garage sale.
Gonna have a garage sale.
We're gonna have a garage sale. Literally by the end of the day, almost half of our possessions, or maybe over half. Would you say over? How much would you say? Probably.
It was getting pretty up there.
A lot of the things that we owned, pretty much everything except for the very few special things we wanted to save and keep in the attic for our next house. Mm-hmm. And then the things that we wanted to keep in the house, like furniture, that type, kitchen things, that type of thing. Everything else we got rid of. We had a garage sale.
We're really good at decluttering.
We are very good at decluttering. I'm a big fan of it. Life is just way better with less stuff.
Until you need it.
Until you need it, but there's a lot of things you don't need that I think we think that we need.
That come up. Yeah.
So we just woke up, we got rid of so many things, and we really had Mazatlan on our heart. We had living there. We didn't know for how long. We didn't know what that would look like, but we kind of just wanted to go there for I don't know, maybe we were thinking at the time, maybe 4 months, 6 months, we didn't know. We ended up going there and getting to do some missions work, which wasn't part of our plan, but it's really how things mapped out, and that got put on our heart as well. And just through a lot of prayer, we had a lot of different confirmations that it was what we were supposed to do, although it was very, I guess you could say, random, like not something we ever intended on or planning on doing.
I never intended to go and do a mission, by the way.
Well, so it wasn't a mission, but we're not Mormons.
Exactly. But like in my skill sets in lifestyle and just the way my brain operates and develops, I just never really looked at that as like something I would do.
Yeah.
And so I mentioned earlier, like stretching, that was huge for me, man. And just living out of country too, because we chose Mazatlan because that's where we got our honeymoon. That's where.
And then we just kept going back there. Somewhat. We just like it.
Everybody knows where you honeymoon. It's like
it's a special place that you want to go back to for vacation. Consistently or whatever.
But like years ago, we were looking at Mazatlan just for real estate, and I think that was like the whole point of all of this in the very beginning was, hey, let's sell off.
Yeah.
How can we continue to use our home here in Oregon as an investment without selling it? And how can we buy something in Mazatlan? Whether we rent for a period of time to see if we just like the area, the landscape, lifestyle. That's huge. And obviously we all look at it as Americans as like sometimes, in the Hispanic culture, Mexico is cheaper.
Yeah. So we wanted, that was before we ended up even deciding to do any sort of missions work there, which was
so there was this whole thing.
Amazing and life-changing, and getting to have our daughter do that along with us, the kids that we got to work with, that she got to be there too, like honestly the best thing we've ever done, and I would do it over again in a heartbeat.
Yeah, very unforgettable memories.
I hope we can do something like it again. Like it was amazing. And getting to expose her to missions and all of that was such an amazing experience for us, the people we met and all of that. But we were looking at properties there because before we even decided to do any sort of missions work there, we were wanting to invest in real estate there because, like Spencer said, it is a place that we've always kind of had on our hearts to invest in real estate in, even since we were, earlier in our marriage. We've just loved the town.
Remember on
it's
our
very
honeymoon,
special.
We walked
culture.
around. There was townhomes. There was just condos. We were on the side of town where there's retirement living, and we were seeing things for like $58,000, $70,000. And we did see crazy. American culture there as well. But I mean, the reason we really like Mazatlan is because of the Hispanic culture and what it brings. It's not this Cabo feeling where it's all Americanized and just
way different,
super nice. I mean, sometimes you gotta like living in the. I guess how do you say this? You gotta like living.
It's a little more rough.
Rough. There you go. Thank
you. But you have the culture. We walked to El Centro every day to the not every day, but every few days to the market, and Spencer would buy me a mango and like just
never have done that. I didn't even need a mango prior. I didn't even know what I never had a mango. I didn't know how to cut the mango. I had people showing me. I didn't even know there was a seed right in the middle of the mango.
There's a big like an avocado.
It's almost like an avocado. I didn't even know that.
Getting to experience the culture, like I said, with our daughter, and getting to live somewhere that was walkable. I mean, it totally. So we had a realtor, we were looking at properties there, ended up not being the direction we felt like we were supposed to go, at least at that time. And our house, meanwhile, the home that we're currently in right now was an Airbnb. It did great as an Airbnb. That was actually our plan all along, was to keep it as an Airbnb. We did not plan on coming back to this house. We planned on coming back to
rented
the States,
it out.
But
we rented it out.
Yes, but then our plans had to change due to things we just don't need to talk about on here. But our plans had to change, and we had to take it off Airbnb, and it actually ended up working out really well. We're very, very happy to be back in here, and we've been really just appreciating, I feel like, our neighborhood and the area we live in more than we ever even did before, which is pretty cool. Not that we didn't like it before, I feel like we have a whole fresh new appreciation for it that we didn't have.
Have you ever just gone somewhere for a long period of time like we did? And then you get a perspective of one way of life, and then you come back to what your life used to be, but you just have this like whole new transformed my words, an appreciation for where you currently live. Like, you're just so blessed to have sidewalks.
Absolutely.
You're blessed to have lights. Like it's one of those things where we really do take a lot of things for granted.
Yeah.
And I know I have, and I probably still do now that I've become more and more re-involved with our community. But there's one thing that is so important is always treat people with the same amount of light and respect, because no matter where you're at culturally, there's always going to be an indifference. And if you can just show that you're different than the other neighbor and being the bigger person, I just feel like there's huge growth in that, just like individually. And that's what made like all of this really, really worth it, is just showing that whether you're in the States, Oregon, Mexico, New Zealand, it didn't matter. You can treat everybody with respect, common courtesy, and understanding, because there's so many cultural indifferences. There's so many background indifferences. I mean, the amount of people that we got to talk to. Yeah. It was like, it was just like, Spencer, just shut up and listen. Yeah. Moments, you know, and that's what you do. And you listen to people's stories. You listen to what they have to say, because I mean, when you're dealing with like legit life problems, and just environments that here in Oregon we can't even comprehend,
things we don't see. Like when there was a day when we were just playing at the park nearby where we were living with our daughter and one of her, her little friends and her nanny and us. We were all there at the park, and
oh my gosh,
we ended up meeting this group of orphan boys who were walked over there from an orphanage down the road. And one of them, we don't speak Spanish and they didn't speak English, but the nanny was, helping us translate, and he kept trying to talk to us, and he was telling us how his father had just passed away the week before, and
literally recently.
And Spencer, got to play with them. And the gal who runs the orphanage was talking about how they really don't have male workers in these orphanages, or even like in their homes, in their culture. It's a lot more common to not have males as present, especially like playing with the kids. And we played with them for probably an hour and had so much fun. We got to pray with them when we left. And then when we left, like they were grabbing onto Spencer's leg, like they wouldn't let him leave. And you don't get to have experiences like that. That was just going to a park like we do here all the time, but you don't get to see things like that at our parks. And like just our eyes being open to so many experiences like that. The homeless people we got to meet. Astrid and his friend Eladio, we walk by him every day.
Oh
and
my gosh, yeah.
It's just so different. So different.
There's simple life lessons, and Eladio, just like you said, just walking by him, it taught our daughter that just because you're homeless doesn't mean you can't give something to them. Yeah. Or if you have nothing to give, because there were times we literally had nothing to give. Yeah. We just sat there, because there's so much unacknowledged people. Yeah. That it's unreal. And sometimes people just need to feel acknowledged, whether that's for 30 seconds or 5 minutes. Yeah. I mean, there was this old guy, remember sitting on his front porch?
Oh yeah.
And
we walked by his house all the time.
Yeah. I don't know if he had dementia or what, but he literally knew we didn't speak Spanish at all. No. And it didn't stop him.
I wish we did.
Did not stop him at all. Yeah. Had like a 10-minute conversation with him. Yeah. And, I'd pick up like little words and he ends up, I had somebody come up, I think, interpret one day. I was on a walk and he had lived there forever. He had lived in this same location for a very, very long time. And he wasn't leaving. And he was one of those guys where he just needed somebody to talk to, though. He literally spoke to us in Spanish for like 10 minutes. And like, I didn't know what to say to him. Yeah. And turns out, I think he thought we were poor or something, because he gave us some coins.
Well, you were wearing no shoes. Spencer walked around the entire place with no shoes on.
Do you know why?
Why?
Somebody stole my shoes.
Oh, okay, yeah. But somebody you could have bought a pair of shoes. And that wasn't the only pair you brought. But he literally chose to wear no shoes everywhere we went. Like walking to town, walking to the beach, everywhere.
I want them back.
Yeah, that was a bad night.
Beautiful leather sandals.
There was another guy who was homeless. Do you remember this guy? We were having breakfast at this
I remember that
place, and he was probably 50, maybe 55, 60 years old. Hispanic man, and he was wearing a Barbie hat and it honestly just made like a Barbie like ball cap, and it just made me want to cry because you could tell he was not wearing it because he was, it wasn't because he wasn't all there. Like you could tell it was because it was so hot, and he probably had to dig it out of the trash can, and it was all he could find, and it just made me want to cry. So I went and talked to him, and I couldn't really speak his language and he couldn't really speak mine, but I was still able to pray for him, and he literally started crying. And it's like God can still show up and work even if you don't speak the same language.
And that's just part of like
things that we got to be exposed to.
You getting up and doing, I felt like was really one of the main factors. Is like, we can always sit and say, why don't these stories ever happen to me? But I mean, you have to sometimes go up and apply.
But it's a lot easier somewhere. I find it so much easier. I definitely don't have that urge, often at all here. Honestly, I probably should a lot more, but not something that happens to me here. But when you're there, you just see so many more things that break your heart than you're used to seeing, or than what we're used to seeing in the States. So that, I guess we could
go on.
We could talk about this experience.
I don't even think we've told like a lot of the family members, because like we had one night, but it was like chaotic, and we didn't even get to share like much stuff. So maybe this is our sharing to the camera. We could literally sit here for hours probably.
We could just sharing
talk about classmates, teachers,
testimonies, things that we saw, experienced, but also even on top of that, just getting to live in Mexico. We just have so much love in our hearts for the culture, the people, the way they do things. Like every birthday party we went to seemed to end with salsa dancing, and it was so much fun, and like everyone's dancing and it's not weird, and like
I still don't know how to salsa dance. I just
love their culture so much. And like I said, I could go on. Everywhere we walked to every day, and the people that we got to meet at the places we would walk to that worked there and owned them, and just such an amazing place. And I would definitely recommend moving to there, or not. I guess we didn't move there, but I would recommend living there for a few months.
Do it. Do it for a season.
And
But I mean, so that was like a portion of the months that we had taken a break from.
But then that's why we stopped. That is why we stopped. And then when we came back, we moved, ended up having to discontinue Airbnb, moved back into this house, and we had intended all along. It's been 6 months maybe more since we've been back. We've intended this whole time to start back up with the podcast. We just took us until just now to make this
finally get operable, and I mean, you guys don't see anything behind us. We got the bare minimum, but ultimately you got audio, you got sound. If you're a realtor seeing this, I mean, dude, just go ahead and do it. And that's one of the things that we've come to terms with is you can't like just sit and wait anymore, man. There's so many other people out there. I mean, I just doing cold calls. They're like, you're the 5th agent to call me today, blah blah blah. And I'm like, maybe I slept in too much, or like there's always somebody. But like the common excuse is, I already know a realtor, right? There's if you're not willing to do it, somebody else will, is my point. And so if you apply that to your current working job, to an application, if you do it to your business, go out and get it. And that's where it really comes, like this lifestyle of living for your business in a sense, because yes, it's your business. It doesn't overcome you, but like, it's just something you do, and it's easy to perform. And it's something like in wrestling, I can just do things without thinking anymore. You know what I mean? I've just done it for so long, and luckily I'm able to coach it now. It's like, it's natural. And I think when you involve marriage with business, when you do it for a period of time, it becomes natural. Would you agree with that, Ray?
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I couldn't imagine living any other way. I truly couldn't. I mean, but also how we run our business, which maybe we'll do a different episode on this. We don't need to go into this, but also how we run our business, where we have very clear things that we do, where you do this and I do this, and we're not like trying to tell each other what to do. You know what I mean? Like if we are both kind of doing the same things, I could see how we could clash a little bit more, but it works very, very well for our life.
Yeah. Yes. And so we get back and we moved back into our house, and it was kind of the holiday season.
It was wrestling season. That's another thing. So we get asked this a lot.
Which I do in the evenings.
We get asked this a lot. Is Spencer still in real estate? Because he's a wrestling coach. He is still a full-time real estate agent. Wrestling is it is a.
You ever see that like crazy uncle at Thanksgiving and they have that mountain, or how about this one? This one's better. When you go to a buffet, and there's always that one dude in your group, and he just piles the plate with like a mountain. I've always wondered, like, why the heck don't you just get multiple plates? It's a buffet. You can get up and go. Don't let all your food touch. Why get everything at once? And I put a lot on my plate is the whole point.
Okay, I'm like, where are you going with this?
During that wrestling season, that time period,
it's busy.
There's so much on my plate.
There's a lot. It's busy.
And, you know,
but real estate is his day job. It's not his 100%. Day job. Real estate is still his day job. He's still a full-time real estate agent. And then,
if I got a phone available with internet, I'm working. Yeah. And it could be 8 in the morning, could be at 10 at night, could be during a tournament or practice.
Yeah.
I'm working.
All right. I feel like it's about time to wrap this episode up.
I really feel really comfortable in this chair, sitting with you, talking, having conversation.
I've missed it. I've missed having these conversations.
And, you know, it's definitely something we're going to be doing every week for sure. Whether we do more than one video a week, like I said, we set up this whole room for podcasting. And what's cool is you can find us on Spotify after these episodes, and we can continue on uploading new videos and audio just there. I really like that option, though, because when I'm in the sauna, I'm always listening to things, educational pieces. And if it's encouraging, I'm going to be listening to it, you know. And that's something I think is one of our goals, is to not only tell you can do it, but just say, go for it. Because, I mean, there's so many people on this planet that's going to go for it. If it's not you, then what are you doing?